Hello everyone, welcome back. So today's question is flatten a multi-level doubly linked list. You are given a doubly linked list which in addition to the next and previous pointers, it could also have a child pointer which may or may not point to a separate doubly linked list. We need to flatten this list so that all the nodes appear in a single level doubly linked list and we can access the head of the first level of the list. So here we are dealing with doubly linked list. A doubly linked list is a special linked list in which each node knows the address of the previous node along with the address of the next node. And for this question, we have multi-level doubly linked list. It means apart from previous and next pointer, a node also have a child pointer, which may point to another multi-level doubly linked list. See example 1. Along with next and previous pointer, we also have a child pointer, which may point to another doubly linked list. In this example, node 3 is pointing to another doubly linked list. And in that doubly linked list, node 8 also points to a third doubly linked list. We need to convert this multi-level doubly linked list into a single level normal doubly linked list, like this. But this example is very complicated. We should take a simple example to understand the problem. Consider this multi-level doubly linked list. After flattening it, the list would be 1, 2, 4, 5, 3 and null. If you look carefully, you will notice that we inserted the list 4, 5 between the nodes 2 and 3. We just performed insertion in a linked list. So the intuition is we need to insert a linked list into another linked list. Let's see how. And for that, we will manually solve a proper example. Traverse from left to right. And if a node contains a child, then we are going to insert that child list right after its parent node. Let's start. Node number 1, no child. Node 2, no child. Node 3 has a child. So we are going to insert the child list, that is 7, 8, 9 between the nodes 3 and 4. So we need to update some links. The next pointer of 3 will point to node 7. And the previous pointer of 7 will now point to 3. Do not forget to update the child pointer of node 3 to null, otherwise you will stuck in an infinite loop. Then we traverse till the last node of the child list. 7, no child. 8, no child. 9, no child. And now the next pointer of 9 will refer to node 4. And the previous pointer of node 4 will point back to node 9. So we have flattened some portion of this list. Now we continue to traverse further. Node 4, no child. Node 5, have a child. But here things are little different because the child list contains another child list. But it is not difficult, so just follow along. Now we need to insert the child list, that is 10, 11 and 12 between the nodes 5 and 6. Just as we did before, update the next pointer of 5 and update the previous pointer of 10. The links has been updated, so we move ahead. Node 10, no child. Node 11 contains a child, that is list 13 and 14. Therefore, the next pointer of node 11 will now point to 13 and the previous node of 13 will point back to 11. Next node is 13, no child. Next node is 14, contains no child. But this node also happens to be a last node of a child list. Therefore, the next pointer of 14 will point to 12. And the previous pointer of node 12 will point back to 14. Links has been updated. Continue with the traversal. Next node is node 12. It contains no child, but this node also happens to be the last node of a child list. Therefore, we need to update some links. This time, the next pointer of node 12 will point to 6, and the previous pointer of node 6 will point back to 12. After that, we continue the traversal. Now, the next node is 6. It contains no child, but this node happens to be the last node of our parent list. So at this point, we stop. We finally flattened the entire multi-level doubly linked list into a single list. So, did you notice how this problem can be solved using recursion. Another thing to note is that we are updating the list in place. So the space complexity would be big O of 1 and the time complexity would be the total number of nodes. We are now going to write a code. We save the head of the input into a dummy pointer because in the end we need to return the head. It is a very common way to deal with linked list. After that, we just traverse the list, and if any node contains a child, then we are going to do some stuff. We have a method called processChild, which is going to work upon the current node. Let's see how. So we have a node that contains a child list, and we have to insert this child list right after this node. That is between the current node and the node lying next to the current node. First, we store the next node into a variable next. Then we are going to update some links as we have discussed. After that, we are going to traverse the child list. And if we find a node having a child, we will take care of that child list first by calling the same function again. And after completely traversing the child list, we are again going to update next and the previous pointers. At last, we just return the node to continue the process further. You have just solved flattening a multi-level doubly linked list. That's it for today's video. Harsh Chaudhary signing off.